Hi, fifth grade families. Welcome to Family Reading Night. It's Mrs. Baldwin, fifth grade teacher. I am here to talk to you about figurative language because our choice book, Geronimo Stilton and the Super Chef Contest, all Geronimo Stilton books are full of figurative language. So let's talk a little bit about what that means. Okay, figurative language are things like similes and metaphors, hyperbole, onomatopoeia, that's my favorite word to say. Personification, okay, these are all types of figurative language. When you describe something by comparing it to something else, you're using figurative language. So saying you're a weasel to someone is a metaphor, and it is describing them as being sneaky or a liar. In our book, Geronimo Stilton and the Super Chef Contest, the title of the very first chapter is Bang, 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 Bang. And that is an example of onomatopoeia. It's a word that imitates the sound that it represents. So words like splash, pop, and bang are examples of onomatopoeia because the word sounds like the sound that it makes. Here's some other examples of figurative language. I can read you like a book. You're a firework. That's a metaphor. What a couch potato. As brave as a lion. That's a comparison using the word as, and that's a simile. That's mostly what we're going to focus on today. Okay, similes and metaphors both make comparisons, but similes use the word like or as, and metaphors just call one thing another, like you're an angel. Sometimes similes make sense and sometimes they can be really silly. Some examples of similes are, I have been working like a dog, or fight like cats and dogs. That's a common phrase because we know cats and dogs don't always get along. As white as snow, as light as a feather, free as a bird. Okay, these are all comparing two things using the word like or as. Some similes in Geronimo Stilton books, these similes are examples from the book Treasure of the Emerald Eye. In one part of the book, the sea is described as flowing beneath us like an emerald green carpet. That really helps put a picture in my brain of what that sea looked like. Okay, I can picture an emerald green carpet in my brain. And so that helps me visualize what the sea looked like to Geronimo Stilton. Another example of a simile in a Geronimo Stilton book is the waves were throwing me up and down like a Ratty Ann doll in a clothes dryer. Have you guys ever seen clothes drying in a dryer? They really get tumbled around, just around and around and around. Okay, so that knowing what that looks like helps me visualize how strong the sea was and how it was throwing the character around. Metaphors compare two things by saying one thing is another thing. They don't use the words like or as. So if you were to just say, my brother is a chicken, that's a metaphor. The cat is a shadow, okay? Not the cat snuck around like a shadow, just the cat is a shadow. The highway was a parking lot. Traffic is stopped so badly that it's a parking lot. Okay, those are, oh, and my teacher is a dragon. You would never say that, would you? Okay, so remember similes compare using like or as. Metaphors compare things by saying one thing is the other. Metaphors do not use like or as. The test was as difficult as nailing jelly to a tree. This is a simile because I can see the word as being used to compare. As difficult as nailing jelly to a tree. Have you ever tried to nail jelly to a tree? It's pretty tough. You're not going to get very far with that. So that means it's really hard. The best friends are like two peas in a pod. I see one of my keywords here. Like. The best friends are like two peas in a pod. You can see that picture of how peas grow. They grow together inside a pod. That means they're very, very close. That is a simile. How about this one, this metaphor? Ben's temper was a volcano. Can you think of a way to change this so that it is a simile? How could you write this in the form of a simile using the words like or as to compare? Instead of saying that his temper is a volcano or was a volcano, I could say Ben's temper was as explosive as a volcano. I can see that picture, that image above of the volcano exploding, erupting. And I could use that as a comparison for someone's temper. Okay, so up here, Ben's temper was a volcano. That's an example of a metaphor. Down here, Ben's temper was as explosive as a volcano would be an example of a simile. I'm going to challenge you to do two things. I want you to find the simile on the first page of your Geronimo Stilton book. Right here, chapter 1, bang, 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 bang. There's a simile right here on this first page. I challenge you to find that simile and determine what two things are being compared. And then I want you to write a simile about yourself. So those are your jobs. Write a simile about yourself and find the simile and any other similes you might be able to find in your Geronimo Stilton book. A good way to write a simile about yourself is to think about a character trait you would use to describe yourself. And then think about something else that you could use to compare that to. Okay, so if you think that you are sweet and smart and intelligent, choose one of those character traits for yourself and write a comparison to something else that's one of those things. So I might say something like, I am as sweet as a cupcake. Cupcakes are pretty sweet, right? So I'm calling myself very sweet as well. So that's a good way to write a simile about yourself, is to come up with some character traits that you would use to describe yourself, and then think of something else that shares that trait. What's something else that you would say is very intelligent? Maybe an animal that's very, very smart. Oh, I said smart and intelligent. Those are synonyms. Okay, so that's one of your jobs, and your other job is to find the simile that's on the first page of your Geronimo Stilton book. Send me an email if you have an answer to that so we can chat about it. All right, I hope you enjoy family reading night. I'll see you soon.